Alright, it's my lunch hour at work and I'm actually out here going to view a flat. I'm almost there, so I'll talk more about it in a bit, but potentially getting a roommate next year, maybe? I don't know yet, but I'm gonna go see a flat in basically Notting Hill. Is this it? I don't have my own bed. Alright, I am home now, but I forgot to give an update on that flat hunting thing. So my lease is coming up, and I was actually thinking about moving because I kind of wanted to move to a different area maybe and try something else. So someone I knew was actually looking for a flat, and then right now the market is super hot. Like for my same flat right now, I'm asking the landlord what the price is going to be next year, but I'm 100% sure they're going to raise it. But for a one bed, for a decent one bed, it's probably going to be at least 1,500. So I was considering sharing with a friend, and she's looking in an area which I'd also be interested in, which is closer to my work. So today we went and saw a flat in Notting Hill. But anyways, not a great flat for two people. One of the bedrooms is really, really small. Although like she doesn't mind taking a smaller bedroom, it at least needs to be big enough to fit like a double bed. So we're gonna look at a few more. I'm also kind of looking on my own to see what's in the market. I might also just stay at my current flat if, you know, the situation gets too crazy. But yeah, that is why I went to see that flat today. It had a really cute balcony. Like I loved the balcony, but that was kind of the only thing good about it. Yeah. Morning guys, I am exhausted but today's a really sunny day, so I'm meeting up with a friend to go to Hampstead Heath. We're gonna go do a little picnic, maybe go to the bathing ponds which are things here. They're basically like in the park. There's, I guess, deep-ish ponds that you can swim in, so I have my swimsuit underneath. I might dip my toes because it's like 30 degrees today, so that should be nice. But yeah, other than that, I'm a little hungover feeling and like tired. Morning guys, so I just made myself a little breakfast. I'm having a pretty slow morning, but I was reading some comments last night and I thought I would chat to you guys about some questions that I've been getting about my career. Well, I think there's two main questions basically, which is how did I get started in marketing and any tips I have, and also how I started working in tech. But I thought I would just briefly answer some of these questions, and if people have more, leave it in the comments and I'll try to get to it either in the comments or I will make another video if there's enough interest in it. So I graduated from university in business management with a specialist in marketing. At my school, if you were in marketing, you were kind of being pushed to the big companies like CPGs, doing like brand, what is it called, like assistant brand manager programs or like rotational programs. And I don't know, back then I was just not very interested in it for some reason. I always leaned more towards digital marketing, so back then I already started a blog and I was like doing internships starting, I would say, my second or third year during the summers, and sometimes during school I would take on internships just to get some experience. I would say the internships I did weren't like all 100% legitimate. Some of them they were like unpaid, and it was like one of them was for like it was actually an app now I think about it, but back then tech wasn't that big, so it was just like I thought it was like, oh, a small fashion website type of thing, but they were actually an app. It was a small tech company doing their social media, and it would literally be just me scheduling tweets that were already pre-written. And then I took an internship in Shanghai actually, but I think I took it more for the travel experience. But it was like a legitimate agency, and I was able to do a little more like strategic work. I think those experiences were like really critical to getting me my first job outside of university. But not really because of what I did, but because I understood how the businesses work, sometimes a little bit of politics, sometimes it's like about knowing what employers want based on what feedback you get out the internships. So because of those internships, I already had experience with social media management. I had experience with sitting in on client meetings, thinking strategically. All these things that at the time you're like, oh, this is like, because you're young, you don't think it's that important work, but if you like really step back and take a look, you're like, you know what, I did all these things, and you're able to put that on your resume. So I think that really helped me pad my resume. And I think also my blog and Instagram had a lot to do with it as well. And I think every step of my career, doing YouTube, doing Instagram, has definitely helped me, because one, it shows, I think, that you're a proactive person. Like even outside of work, you do kind of work related things, or like you have, I'm not sure what's the right way to word it, but I think in the end it just shows that you understand social media. If you want to do digital marketing, you know how to like even take good pictures, like all these like little things that they might not put on a resume, but they know, oh, it's helpful if there's someone on the team that can do kind of those things in a pinch or needed to. And I think at every row I've been in, it's been always helpful to know how to do a little bit of video editing, to know a little bit about how to take a good picture, things like that. So my first job was at a really small agency, and I think at the time I wasn't that happy with it, but it was honestly a blessing in disguise because it was really small, like 5 people. And because of that, I was able to do so much. Like I was talking to the clients, I was thinking of the strategy, but at the same time I was also doing like the posting, the content creation. I created like infographics, and I think at that time you can look at it and be like, oh, it was just like a lot of things dumped on me, and like they were looking for cheap labor. But because of that, I had so many things I could put on my resume, and also I learned so much about how different businesses think. I think that's like one of the big benefits from working in an agency, is that you're exposed to so many different types of businesses, so many different types of people. So that was like a really valuable experience. But I think my main tips for if you're getting started in marketing is get as much experience as you can, whether that is from internships or just do your own thing, right? if you know how to like build your personal brand, that's part of marketing as well, right? If you're able to take great pictures, if you're to edit videos, like if you want to get into digital marketing, I think those are key skills that are really useful, and that's really what's going to get you hired when you're really, really junior. That's what people in companies need younger workers to take over, basically. Like the tasks that one, either they don't have the skills to do or are like very time consuming. So if you're able to take that off their plate, you'd be very helpful. I also would say just keep applying. Honestly, I think I sent over 100 applications before I got my first offer. So don't get discouraged. It's just part of the process. There is so many reasons why a company wouldn't hire you, especially at the junior level. So don't be discouraged. There's just so much competition. And then on breaking into tech, I would say try to understand industry, how startups work, how they make their money. I think this perception has changed over the years, so it's a bit better now, but a lot of people used to think that you need a lot of like technical experience or like technical understanding to get into startups, and I really don't think that's the case. I think more so startups value if you are the type of person that really understands their customers. So if you are either the customer or you really understand that audience, you'd be very valuable in a startup, because a lot of startups don't have a lot of money to do market research. A lot of startups don't are really just trying to find the right fit and messaging for their market. And if you're someone that really knows that audience, or you are the audience, then I think you'd be really valuable, and if you know how to sell the product. So yeah, don't underestimate yourself just because you don't have a lot of technical experience. I would say maybe like those kind of technical experience will be what makes you get seen, but in the end, it's not the end all and be all. And then I guess my last tip, just show that you're an enjoyable person to work with, like you're easy to work with. Your manager or your hiring person is hiring you to make their lives easier. So, think about what you can do to make their lives easier. Of course, it's also about your skill, right? That makes your life easier, but also the type of person you are. Can you connect with the interviewer? How can you show that you're an enjoyable person to work with on an everyday basis? I think that's something that people don't think about as much as they should, and that really does impact, especially on smaller teams, why someone would hire you or not. Anyways, I hope that was helpful. I felt like I was like just rambling a bit, so yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, but I think I'm gonna go for a Pilates workout now. Hey guys, I am going to pick up my pottery pieces that I've been working on for the last like 5 weeks. I was supposed to pick them up last week, but I was in Italy, so I'm picking up this week. I'm excited to see how they turned out. I'm a little worried because when you're glazing, the color is not what you're gonna see when it's fired, and then it also looks more opaque. You're supposed to put like 3 coats, and if you don't put enough or like the coverage is not right, it's gonna look streaky, so fingers crossed that it all looks good. And then I'm meeting someone for dinner at Koya, one of my favorite udon places. Actually, probably my favorite udon place in London, like the best udon I've had probably ever, honestly. But first, let's go see how my pottery pieces turned out. Anyways, let's go. So I just picked up my pots. I really want to check them out, but they're all wrapped up and in a bag, so I'll check them when I get home. But right now I need to head to dinner at Koya. Alright, I'm home now. Let's check out the pottery pieces. I did take a sneak peek at a few of them, but I couldn't see most of them, so let's take a look at all of them together. I have, I think, 9 pieces in total. It's a bit dark in here, but anyways, okay, let's take a look at them. Let me open this one. Ooh, very nice. So this dish used a glaze that had like fired cracklings of other glazes. So when you painted it, it was like very stubbly, but then when you put it in the kiln, it melts and it creates all these like different colored effects. Okay, let's see this one. Oh yeah, I painted this one kind of in a hurry at the end. Ooh, I like it though. So it's like a bluish tint, but it has like all these different blue hues on it, which I don't know, I can't remember if this is intentional or it's just because of my own uneven painting, but I don't mind it. And then, oh yeah, this one I did in a hurry. It's just kind of like a almost translucent glaze over top of a single layer of another color. A bluish tint, but it has this like translucent quality to it. This one, I ran out of time, but I remembered this design from a ceramicist that my manager introduced me to, and she does these like swirly design on plates, which she does way better than I do, but I thought this was a fast way to copy them because I just had to do this glaze and then I could leave it the rest white, which I think actually turned out pretty cute. Like I kind of love the hand-drawn quality about them. Oh yeah, this one as well is one of those glazes with the crackling, and it's actually very nice. It looks like flowers popping off, but it's just different glazes melting and dripping as it gets fired. But yeah, this one also, it's a solid color underneath, and then you layer a glaze over top of it. I think actually, I'm not 100% sure. It turned out kind of cool. It has this like effect on it. Oh, this one dripped a lot. So I think I might have not waited for it to dry to put on another glaze. So there's all these bumps. It surprisingly sits flat on the table, except these bumps are like interesting. I think there's a way you can like sand them down, but actually it's not too bad on the table. It still sits flat. But yeah, there's actually this interesting pooling at the center, which is kind of nice actually. And then the sides are like, you can see all the glaze melting in different ways. Last one, I think I ran out of time, and this one uses a similar glaze to, it might be, actually I'm not sure, I don't see anyone similar to this, but it has like a bit of speckles in it, and it's just kind of like a nice blue color. So yeah, very nice haul. I think this is like very worth it. I got like 9 pots out of it. I forget how much the total courses were, but you get 6, and for any extra ones you make, you pay £5, which is like pretty good for something that you handmade and they, you know, fired, glazed, etc. So I feel like very worth it. Here, let me just show the final collection. So here is my full collection from the past.
Skylines paint the night, spinning our favorite songs, holding you tight,